Hello guys! During the last months we observed success of Ukrainian counter-offensive and we rarely see that in global media. And this is the tendency that bothers me much because it can be a part of a strategy to push Ukraine to negotiate with a terrorist state. We don't want that, we will not do that because you never negotiate with terrorists and also because we are successful in making Russia retreat. My name is Anna and I vlog daily from Ukraine since the start of the brutal Russian invasion. So if you're new to the channel, you support Ukraine, please subscribe and help us fight informational war. And my longtime friends, check your subscription status and hit notification button. So honestly, you know that on my channel I share the ordinary Ukrainian perspective on this very challenging times in Ukraine. And I'm really worried that very few people speak about the successful operation that Ukraine continues to conduct and new liberated territories, lots of destroyed military targets of Russian invaders, and so on and so forth. And one of these successful operations that is almost invisible in the Western media is the operation on the left bank of Dnipro River in Kherson. You know that Kherson was the only regional center that Russian invaders managed to take since the start of full-scale war in 2022. And it was occupied for a long period of time during which people were tortured, people were executed, but still they greatly opposed Russian invaders. And there are lots of inspiring, beautiful stories. And just recently, a couple of days ago, we celebrated the anniversary of Kherson liberation, which took place last November 2022. So almost half a year they were occupied. And now they are back to Ukraine and they are enjoying life in a free democratic country, but they are constantly shelled by invaders because Russia demonstrates it's not for the territories, it's for the very existence of Ukraine as a democracy near to Russian borders. But Ukraine has returned Kherson back home. Same will happen to the Crimea, Donetsk and Luhansk. And now we are working hard on the liberation of other territories of the Kherson region. And left bank was occupied by Russian invaders, and slowly but at the same time very consistently Ukrainian armed forces started moving to the left bank of Kherson, from which they often shelled the city, causing lots of troubles for Kherson dwellers. And now, since mid-October, we get some messages that Ukrainian troops are already on the left bank of Dnipro River, and since recently the territory that they gain back is getting larger and larger. Just a couple of days we knew about like 500 meters or something, and now it is close to 2 kilometers that Ukrainian troops managed to regain on the left bank, and Russians are retreating. Of course, Russian propaganda will pretend this is a plan, everything goes according to a schedule, but we all know they just don't have any other option because we destroy their logistics, we target their military storages, and they have to leave. And also partisan movements, opposition of Ukrainians, and just like a Russian army that is definitely not the second strongest, but the second army in Ukraine. Subscribe if you agree with me and you want to receive updates from Ukraine. So these are really good news, which demonstrate that Kherson will be safeguarded because orcs will not have access to the bank, so they will not shell it, because what they do after the city was liberated, they constantly terrorize it with artillery, with missiles, and many people die just because of this Russian hatred. This is a very typical Russian approach. If they cannot have something, they want to destroy it, they want to erase it. And that's what they are doing in Ukraine. So of course, no negotiations, but it's not because Russia is evil, Russia is criminal, and International Criminal Court in The Hague has an order for Putin. So with whom can we negotiate? With an international criminal? But another important fact is we don't need that, as we are succeeding. We do need your support, but at the same time, we have really strong Ukrainian armed forces. We have a plan and we have visible success. And it worries me that very few media talk about that. with all these elections, with all these conflicts, with all these global problems, Russia tries to use the opportunity to once again create a negative image of Ukraine, that we are losing, that we are corrupt, that we are so problematic. So don't you invest your time, money, and effort in this country. Leave it to us, orcs. But of course, the world sees Ukraine, the world shares our values, and united we stand. But we do need to be more visible, same as the success of Ukrainian counter-offensive and this operation on the left bank of Kherson River. I do hope the day when it is safe to travel to Ukraine comes soon and you will be able to see Kherson. Kherson region is a very bright and loved one in Ukraine because it's very warm, and it's known for its products like watermelons that are super tasty there, and also tomatoes. And typically people on Ukrainian markets are always looking for fruit and vegetable from Kherson. It has lots of resorts, and it's a very nice Ukrainian city, a kind, a generous one. And when we return back to peace after victory, you're all invited. So please help us share this positive news, as they are important in shaping this global agenda. Thank you so much for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons. I value your presence in my life very much. Subscribe to my Instagram, Threads, and Twitter. I share a lot of information there too. We have a Discord community. All the links that you need are below this video. If you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe. And if you're looking for some good Christmas reminders of Ukraine, go check our merch shop. There are many interesting things. But anyway, the most important thing is that we stand united and we will win in this war, because good always prevails. Slava Ukraini!